So I wanted to make a video about artist's block. So artist block is probably, if you're an artist, you probably ran into this several times, but if you haven't experienced this, maybe you just don't know you have experienced it yet, because I promise you most artists have experienced this. But it's basically when you go to sit down and you got nothing. Nothing comes out, you're just frustrated. You try and get into the feeling of stuff, but nothing works. You're just stuck, right? So in the case that happens, what I like to do is this little exercise that doesn't take very long. You get a nice painting out of it, and then you can move right from this to your more serious work, and you don't have that block anymore, you'll find. So first you start with something comfortable. For me, it's the horse. If you're familiar with any of my work, you're going to find horses everywhere, but that's just what's easy and comfortable for me to do. So as you can see, I just go in there with my little willow charcoal. I'm not working with a photograph. Working with a photograph in a case of writer's block is just torture, if you ask me. Now, as you can see, I didn't like the back end of the horse that I did, so it was just feeling like I didn't have enough space, like I didn't position the front of the horse right, so I just went back to what I liked about the painting, about this picture, which was the front of the horse. So, okay, yeah, I have a two-headed horse now, but, whatever, it's fine. So the next part about all this is that brings me to the next part of this, okay? So follow the good feelings. Don't get into the trenches about, this doesn't have a background. Like, why does this horse have two heads? Like, what's going on, right? Get out of that. Just don't even worry about any of that stuff, because when you follow the good feelings, you're going to find a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, and you're going to find that you're doing it anyway, because when we're trying to outrun our brains, that is what happens. We just have to follow our intuition, right? Because our brains was what got us into this position in the first place, right? So I like to work with inversions. It's always super easy just to take two colors that work really well together and just focus on those two colors, because once again, you don't want to get really, really caught up in something that's going to require a lot of brain power, aka a complex palette. So stick with two colors, right? You can add some different colors later, but for now, keep it really, really simple. So these two colors for me, I think they offer a lot of drama, and I don't have to think about it much, because just the dramatic combination here is carrying a lot for me. So the next part about all this is don't focus on detail, right? Detail is something that's going to it's going to require a lot of brain power, right? So especially like how are you going to think up detail in a piece like this, right? So when you don't have detail, right, and you don't have a photograph, a lot of people can kind of get lost in the ether here. They don't know where to go. What I tell my students is, think about your 7 elements of art. Those are line, shape, space, value, form, texture, and color. Now, those are all broad definitions, right? They're principles that we can come to, but they don't necessarily have hard and fast rules to each one besides their basic definitions, right? So, pick one or two of those elements out and use them here. Focus on them. Like for me, I was thinking about form when I added this white into the red and the white into the blue, right? I'm like, well, I don't want them to be so silhouette-like, so I'm just going to add like moments of white that sort of suggest at a musculature that obviously isn't realistic. I mean, this is a two-headed fucking horse, right? So, but yet I'm going to go with some form here, right? And that's okay. And the next thing I want to do is kind of carve things out a little bit. I'm going to go in there and kind of refine things with a smaller brush and kind of just tinker around with it till I like it. Still following the good feelings here, adding a little bit of background diversity with the white again, following the good feelings. And, one thing that I like to do is work with a palette knife in these kinds of paintings. For one thing, even if I wanted to get detailed, I couldn't really. But when you add texture in this amount, it can be very dramatic, right? And it goes really well with this color combo because you have this dramatic inversion, you have this dramatic color combination, and it's perfect for sort of giving just a little bit of commonality between this diversion of red and the blue. And when I pick up the palette knife in cases like this, I know that's because I'm probably almost done here. So I'm probably at this point I'm really actually satisfied with it. I think I worked for like maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes at the most here. And the whole time I was having a blast. Keep working until you feel something shift. You're going to feel your consciousness shift just slightly because that's your clue that the wall is down. And once you're done having a blast with this little painting, you can move on to your more serious work, and you're going to find yourself moving with this fluidity, moving with this efficiency, right? And that's the whole point of this exercise. So I hope it helps you, and let me know in the comments. Thanks.